A man ate a devil fruit, hoping it would awaken a powerful skill, so he could become an adventurer. But he never imagined that his talent was just for being a farmer who could only make fruits ripen faster. Meanwhile, his childhood friend, Reina, awakened the rare sword saint talent, something only seen once in a decade. And since a person can only eat one devil fruit in their lifetime, eating a second one would instantly poison and kill them. Even worse, Reina, who originally planned to go back home and farm with him, was told by the saintess that she had to go to the holy city to become an adventurer and protect the kingdom. And so, the two went their separate ways. Little did anyone know, Jack's seemingly useless fruit farming skill was actually a hidden powerhouse. It turned out he discovered that he was immune to the poison of devil fruits. In other words, he could keep eating devil fruits to awaken new skills. At first, Jack didn't even know this. After parting with Reina, he went back home to farm. He survived by picking fruits to eat and selling them for money. But he never gave up on becoming an adventurer. Whenever he had free time, he went out to practice swordsmanship. At the village chief's request, he even took in a girl named Ella. They split chores and worked together, living a fairly peaceful life. Until one night, Ella made him dinner. And that dinner happened to include a devil fruit he had just harvested. No sooner had she served it than Jack felt a sudden heat surge through his body, and he fainted on the spot. He thought he would die from poison, just as the saintess had warned, but unexpectedly, he didn't die. Instead, he awakened his second skill, Sword God. At the same time, Ella experienced the same reaction. She then used her skill appraisal ability, and saw Jack's skill description. It turned out that because of his fruit farmer skill, he had a passive ability that made him immune to devil fruit poison. The newly awakened Sword God skill, on the other hand, greatly increased his attack power whenever he used a sword, while also boosting his magic resistance. Hearing this, Jack rushed outside to test his newly acquired Sword God skill.
ライトさん、木が。
俺はこの世で唯一の2つ目のスキルを持つ人間になってしまったらしい。
Regaining his confidence, Jack went to the Adventurers Guild the next day with Ella, planning to register as an adventurer and catch up to Reina. Ella silently vowed to use her appraisal skill to help Jack in the future. But at that moment, Jack accidentally collided with a player inside the guild. The player arrogantly demanded an apology, but Jack didn't even want to pay attention to him. Seeing this, the player drew his sword and swung at Jack. To everyone's surprise, Jack blocked the attack with just one hand. The player was stunned, and then awkwardly said he had held back, before turning to leave with his companions for a mission. Meanwhile, Jack received a commission task from the guild, and quickly headed to the destination with Ella. Their goal this time was to clear off the slimes that had appeared nearby. At first, Jack was a little worried, but the moment he drew his sword, his body felt as light as a feather, and the newfound strength in his legs was unbelievable. He easily defeated the slimes in seconds. Then, they just needed to bring part of the slimes' bodies back to the guild to earn money. Ella hesitated at first, but when she heard that the reward was enough to buy a dozen pizzas, she didn't hesitate and cut them up. At that moment, Jack heard sounds of battle nearby. Looking closer, he saw the same player from the guild facing a high-level monster, a ogre. The ogre's single strike completely destroyed their squad's combat ability. Jack kindly asked if they were okay, but the player immediately got a mischievous idea. When he saw Jack, the next second, he pushed the ogre toward Jack. However, now with the Sword God skill, Jack didn't panic at all. On the contrary,